Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe from multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines and many other sectors.
Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. This is Market Today. I am Sakshi Batra. Well, the March F&O series is set to end this week, which will only have 3 trading sessions, including the F&O expiry session on Thursday. The Nifty is up only 100 points this series so far, while on the face value, it really seems that the action has been pretty flat, but the entire series has played out very, very volatile. The end of this truncated week will also mark the end of March quarter and the fiscal year 2024. After which we will see a lot of companies starting to report their quarterly numbers and the year-end numbers as well. So that will be an important trigger to watch. As far as the Nifty is concerned, it's settling in the pre-open down in the red, about 0.6% in trade, 148 points lower at 21,947 as of now. Remember, the last 3 trading sessions were in the positive zone. The third straight session we did see buying across the sectors, barring the IT sector, after the Nifty really made a swing low of 21,710 last Wednesday. Since that time, the Nifty has managed to recover about 300 points from those levels. But when we talk about the record high levels, from that point till now, the Nifty is still about 450 odd points lower from 22,526. And therefore, the big question comes in how the Nifty will move forward from here. Joining in to discuss and to share more insights on the markets going forward, I'm now joined by the special guest that we have lined up for you for this day. Vineet Bolinchkar, Head of Research at Ventura Securities, joins in. A warm welcome to you, Mr. Bolinchkar, and thank you so much for taking the time out. Hope you had a fantastic Holy weekend. And now, what is it that you're looking forward to as far as the markets are concerned, sir?
It has taken all the relaxed mood away. And that's probably due to a couple of factors creeping in. One is that we have uncertainty with the elections that are panning out. Number one. Number two is the fact that, guidance on IT stocks has been lowered by the foreign players. We expect domestic players also to face some kind of stress. And third is this slipping rupee. So it is telling you that money is moving out. So all these factors and the fact that, we are in March end, the last week of settling your books is going to lead to a lot of volatility, and that is essentially what is playing out. So we expect markets to sustain at current levels. However, if it goes below 21,900, then we could see a kind of a small mini crash take place before the market settles and tries to secure a newer level for itself.
Okay, so as we approach the year end and then look forward to FY25, how are you looking at the markets for the next fiscal year? Of course, there will be a whole host of macro events, politically dominated events that will also be the talk of the town. How do you anticipate the markets to move over the course of next 12 months? And, what would be the ideal strategy for investors after we've seen a stupendous rally unfold, a lot of volatility in the last 2 months? Then going forward from here, what should be the ideal strategy?
So, just to give you a kind of a sense of how the markets might move over the next couple of months, is that I expect markets to kind of overcome this volatility in April as the results come out. And then we will have select stocks move up, select sectors moving up. So the sectors in the limelight like renewable energy, refining, oil and gas, and also infrastructure are supposed to expected to do well along with pharma stocks. However, we believe that the other sectors which are there could be still some kind of volatility present, given the fact that the valuations out there are very high. Let's take for example HDFC Bank. There is still anticipation that things will turn out better, but I believe that the stock will be more sideways to down before any great shakes happen. And to my mind, that's not happening in the very short term, at least. So keeping these kind of views in mind, one should be very selective, picky, and choosy of what you buy, and that's the strategy.
Okay. Any two stock ideas that you can mention which you'll be watching out for now?
I think Philips Carbon Black has seen some very good, interesting moves happen there. We are quite constructively positive on that stock. And the other one that we like is Maruti. We believe that Maruti will do exceptionally well. And they will also be launching their EV vehicle. So the EV portfolio will also start buzzing. And we believe that uh, Maruti can do really well over the coming few
Okay.
quarters.
Okay, Philips Carbon Black and Maruti. We'll continue to watch out for that one. But the markets have opened and about a 50 points lower tick is what you see. Although 22,045 is where the Nifty is really trading at this point in time. When we do talk about a whole host of other sectors, you'll be able to spot that among the sectors that are doing well are the media sectors, metals, PSU banks, small caps, mid caps. They are up into the green. A slight bit of positive tick on the healthcare and the IT space. So it's a mixed trade to begin with as far as sectoral action is concerned, because you have FMCG, realty, oil and gas, banks down into the red as of now. Now, when we talk about the particular stocks that are important for you to really look at this point in time. Of course, the Nifty Bank is down by 0.25%. So you do see, large part of the heavyweight market shifting towards the lower side at this point in time. Let's look at some of the stocks that are important to watch out for you. So let's. There's a large deal that was expected in Mankind. So let's quickly pull up that stock. Deal valued 2,600 crores odd, about 1.22 crore shares worth of deal was supposed to take place, and therefore you do see a downtick of about 2.5% at 2155 on this one. The big Nifty losers include Britannia, Power Grid, Tata Consumer Products, NTPC, ONGC at this point in time. So you do have some of these big movers on the downside, but on the positive side, you have stocks like Adani Ports, Tata Motors, Tata Steel, you have M&M, Bajaj Finance, HCL Technologies, these sort of stocks that are still doing well. So HDFC Life is the top mover on the Nifty. Adani Ports follows it. Tata Motors, Hero Moto, you have Tata Steel, you also have Bajaj Finserv, LTI Mindtree, Apollo Hospitals, but the breadth seems to be shifting towards the lower side at this point in time. And of course, we've discussed about Mankind Pharma as well. Time to welcome the other guest also on the show with us. Joining us now is Ayush Mehta, Technical Research Analyst from Nirmal Bang. Good morning to you, Ayush. Tell us what are the stocks that you are watching out for in the opening?
Hi, good morning, Sakshi, and good morning to all the viewers. So I have two stocks currently. The first stock is ITC. If you look at the charts of ITC, we are seeing a reversal on its weekly chart where we can feel there's a base building happening on the charts of ITC. Plus, there's a breakout of upper band of the Bollinger Bands and the 50-day moving average. So I feel ITC can be bought at the current levels for a target of 450 by keeping a strict stop loss of 415. The second stock we are liking here is SAIL. If you look at the charts of SAIL, SAIL has given a good breakout from its lower levels and has it is currently trading at around a 20-day moving average, which is around 130 levels. And once it crosses 130 and it holds there for some time, then we will see a bigger rally in SAIL, which can take SAIL towards 138 in the short term basis, and by keeping a strict stop loss of 126.
Okay. Right. So those are the two stock ideas that have been discussed, SAIL and ITC. We'll keep an eye out on this one. Meanwhile, Vineet, if I could just take your view on Mankind Pharma, about 3.2% of equity has exchanged hands. That means about 1.3 crore shares have exchanged hands. There's a large deal that has taken place. There were reports of Beige looking forward into this deal, and therefore we do see the drop in stock because about this is a big deal of about 2,736 odd crores, and this is at a discount from the last closing price as well. How would you look at these big block deals unfolding, and what does it mean for Mankind particularly?
So I think, you know, whatever selling pressure was expected is done with now in Mankind Pharma. They had a 2-3% stake. They've sold 2.9, and that would mean that the short term any worries of overhang on the stock are over. The stock is well placed, and we expect this stock to now start performing on the upside.
Okay. Any technical view that you'd like to share, Ayush, with us on Mankind?
If you look at the charts of Mankind, it has taken a base of its 20 and 50-day moving average, which is at around similar level, around 2140. And because of the deals happening, I think it's going to be extremely volatile. So we have to look for higher levels. We have to wait for a breakout of 2200 on the closing basis. Once that is done, then we are seeing an upward level of 2340 also.
Okay. There are two or three more stocks from the broader market space that are actually showing some sharp ticks on the upside. Let's look at those, especially in the futures level, Ayush. I want you to look at the charts of Max Financial Services. It's up by 5.5% odd, showing a very strong momentum, the top mover on the F&O space. How would you look at this stock?
So MFSL has given a breakout of downward sloping trend line on its intraday chart. Plus, there's a cluster resistance which is at around 1010, and today it has made a high of 1010. So once it crosses 1010, we can take a buy call in this. And the first target we are looking here is 1045, and stop loss we have to maintain is today's low, which is 974.
Okay. The other one I wanted you to look at is Jyoti CNC. Again, a very sharp up move has been seen in the opening levels for this one. Do you track this stock on the charts, and what does the chart really tell you as of now on this bounce? What would you do?
Well, it's a little illiquid and we don't track it that much, but there's a double bottom pattern happening on the charts of Jyoti CNC, which is a daily chart, but there's a break. I request everyone to place switch opposite because the stock is very less, because it has got very less volume. So by keeping a day's low of SL of 714, we can take a buy call in this. My first target will be around 7.
Okay, got that. You know, the other space that's constantly on the up move is the metals pack. Again, you have stocks like JSPL now on the up move, about 5% higher. The stock is now really trading at. Any view, Mr. Bolinshkar, on the metal stocks? We've been seeing them in momentum over the last 1 week odd or so. What does it really tell our viewers at this point?
See, it's more of a macro theme, and that is playing out globally. So, we have the entire globe, going on a massive rebuilding spree. US, Europe, India is on an infrastructure spree. There are so many wars being fought. Defense, ammunition and supplies have been exhausted. They need to be restacked. And all these are going to lead to a huge surge in metal prices. And with the impending dollar sell off that is expected to happen, metals have got their own theme now. And we expect metals to outperform the markets. Here we like Jindal Steel. SAIL is a very good stock to look at. Uh, uh, Hindalco and Hindustan Copper are some of my favorite picks out in this space.
Okay, so a slew of names from the metals pack that investors can look at, and SAIL was a common name that both our technical and fundamental guests really have talked about in trade today. So keep an eye out on that. Mr. Bulinchkar, the other space is the life insurance space. How are you, looking at the momentum build up here? Today again, HDFC Life is among the top movers on the Nifty. ICICI Prudential is a top mover in the F&O space as well. How would you look at this entire basket of life insurance stocks? Is this a good enough time for all those long-term investors looking to have a pie from the life insurance theme? Should be looking at some of them at least?
Definitely, what I believe, it's a rotation that is happening in the BFSI space. So within the BFSI, banking is looking kind of, at least private banks look a little fairly valued. And, if you are looking for pockets of opportunity within this space, I think SBI Life, Prudential, ICICI, and HDFC, along with Max Financial, offer very good opportunities.
Okay, and Max Financial we've already discussed is the top mover in the F&O space again in trade today. All right, any other theme that you're watching very closely, Mr. Bulinchkar? Any other stocks that you are looking to build up in this kind of a volatile turn that may have given you attractive entry points?
So as we just discussed about the metal space,
Yeah.
that is what we like. and we think that is a new kid on the block, and it's a fresh trend playing out, which can be a macro theme, and hence we are very positive on this one.
Okay, Ayush, would you like to add any metal names to your portfolio as well at this point in time? Anything that looks positive beyond sale as well that should be looked at on the charts?
Well, Jindal Steel is looking good at current levels. It has given a breakout of 850 levels and it is currently trading around 853. It has made a formation of higher top, higher bottom in all the time frame, which is very positive. So I think Jindal Steel can be bought at current levels by keeping a strict stop loss of 840. The targets we are witnessing here is approximately 880.
Okay, let's also discuss some of the other stocks. So, the auto space is again pulling up. Remember, Mr. Bulinchkar did talk about Maruti as being among his stocks that he's watching out for. And the Nifty auto is half odd percent higher in trade. It's M&M that's pulling up the index. So, about 2% move can be seen on M&M. Ashok Leyland follows that move, 1.3% higher. Remember, the dividend has been the news flow for Ashok Leyland. Tata Motors is up and about 1.2% of an uptick can be seen on this one. Then you also have Bharat Forge, TVS Motor, Eicher Motors, Bajaj Auto, Hero Motor. The two-wheeler names are also doing well at this point in time. Anything else from the auto basket on the technical charts that you spot that one should track for the move?
From the auto space, I'm liking it's an auto ancillary company. It's a Jamna Auto. Well, Jamna Auto charts are looking very positive. It has given a breakout from the lower levels of 107 rupees. That has shown a good reversal from those levels, and it was continuously holding its moving average because of 125 and currently has given a breakout of that. So I feel Jamna Auto can be bought at current levels. The first target we are seeing is 138. Stop loss there is 25.
Okay, Jamna Auto is something that you like from the auto ancillary basket. What about you, Mr. Bulinchkar, from the auto ancillary space? Any top 2 or 3 names that you're tracking very closely?
So we like Minda Corp, Samvardhan, Motherson Sumi. Uh, so these are few names that come to mind, and this is primarily because last week the U.S. government came out with a final policy saying that all vehicles to go EV by 2032. So that's going to be very positive. So we have a good 7 years, and that's a very nice macro theme to play out in the coming times.
Okay, right. So that's a macro theme that one should be keeping an eye out on. Let's look at a few more momentum stocks right now. I can see Dr. Lal Path Labs showing some bit of ticks on the upside, about 3% higher in the F&O space. You also have stocks like Indus Towers that's moving up in the F&O action as well. That's another stock that you should watch. Balrampur Chini, another stock that has been in momentum, about 2.1% higher in trade. Siemens is up in trade as well. And you also have Adani Enterprises that's moved up. On the Adani Group stocks, Vineet, any particular stocks that you are building up constantly the positions in?
Uh, Adani Enterprises constantly remains a strong pick because even if you do not take into consideration disinvestment in any of the incumbent businesses, you're still getting a we have valued it at about 135% upside over the next 4 years. Now that is very good for a large index stock, and if you have actually the value unlocking happen, then you can see upwards of close to 200% kind of gains, and that is a very sweet spot in my mind. So Adani Enterprises continues to remain our favorite.
Okay, from the Adani basket, Adani Enterprises is where Vinny's confidence continues to be, high, and conviction seems to be high at this point in time. Let's again look at the PSU basket that's again pulling up in trade. So you have HAL that's up and about in trade, about 2% higher. You have Oil India that's up and about 2.5% up move. Coal India is up, NHPC is up. NMDC is up in trade. Then you also have BEL, GAIL, REC, IOC, PFC also up in trade. NTPC also pulling up in trade. So power names, energy names, commodity oriented names, power names, these are the names that are again coming back in flavor. BHEL is another name that's pulling up in trade. Mr. Bulinchkar, any public sector, stocks that are on your radar right now? Of course, we've seen the best of the rally. We've seen consolidation. But what next? Are you looking at attractively some of these stocks again to be picked up?
So I'm a very strong bull on the PSU theme. We believe that there's a lot of inefficiency uh, improvement schemes that the government has launched. Order books remain very strong. So, strong order book, faster execution, better efficiency leading to better margins gives you operating leverage effect. And these themes are going to play out over the next decade. So even if you get a deep cut, due to some kind of unforeseen global macro themes, I still think that they're a hold at current levels.
Okay, got that. So that's where Vineet is keeping his focus on. What about Ayush? You, I mean, in the public sector stocks, including public sector banks, where would you be keeping your focus on?
Well, I was checking the stock of PNB, and that's my eye on. Currently, like the PNB is looking good at current levels. It has made a good base at around 119, 120 levels, which is a good base for this stock. I think it will give a breakout today. It is around the breakout zone is exactly 120.50, and the high is that. And once it passes 120.50, we are seeing a new rally towards 135. We have to keep a stop loss of 119 here.
Okay, right. So BNB is on the top radar on the technical front as far as the public sector banks are concerned, and that's where even Ayush is keeping his focus on. All right, what we'll do is, Mr. Bulinchkar, we'll thank you at this point in time and for sharing all these views and stocks. We'll continue to track them till we meet next time on air. And here's hoping you have a fantastic week ahead going forward from here. And in the meanwhile, what we'll do, viewers, is we'll also take a very quick break. And once we return, we will continue our discussion with Ayush on specific stocks that are really moving in the first few minutes of trade.
Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe for multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines, and many other sectors.
Welcome back. You're watching Market Today on Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra, and on this first trade, we are discussing a whole lot of strategies on markets and specific stocks with our special guest, Ayush Ayush has joined us specifically today from Nirmal Bang. He's the technical research analyst. Ayush, tell us what else is looking attractive to you at this point in time. We've discussed a whole host of stocks from the auto basket, from the metals basket. You've also pointed out top names from the PSU banking basket as well. How would you be looking at the broader markets? Is that a space you're looking at amid this volatility consolidation that we've seen unfold over the last few weeks?
Good formation around the 20, around the 20, and in those levels we've seen a good rally towards 20,000 levels. The one point here is the 20 more capital stays at 22 is not breakout of. So the breakout of that, I think we have to be a little cautious and it is
Okay, I guess there is some kind of a network issue. We'll try and fix that, Ayush, for you. And we'll try and understand from you more stock ideas. Meanwhile, you can also check on your end if there is a technical issue, and maybe you can fix that as well. Meanwhile, I'll just talk about some of the movers at this point in time with all our viewers. As far as the markets are concerned, still subdued, about 55 points lower on the Nifty. It's the Nifty Bank that's not participating. It's about 0.3% lower in trade, and all the three constituents, be it the PSU banks, that's a 0.25% down in trade, financial services 0.2% lower, private banks about 0.2% lower. That's the big weightage space that's really not participating. You also have other sectors like IT that's down in trade, and then you also have oil and gas that's been a big mover over the last 10 days or so. Consumer durables, realty and FMCG have also slipped into the trade further lower and are now trading half odd percent lower in trade. Barring the metal space, rest of the sectors are actually losing some of their early gains, and the mid caps also turned absolutely flat at this point in time. Only the metal space about 1/10% higher. Let's get back to Ayush. Ayush, what's really happening? We are again seeing the early gains being wiped off into the markets, the pressure building up. Does it only give us a sense that volatility will be high because A, there is a truncated week, B, we will have the FNO expiry, not just for the month, for the quarter and for the financial year also coming in very, very soon. So there could be a lot of profits being booked, a lot of positions being adjusted. How are you looking at this move? 70 points lower now on the Nifty. What is the next strategy?
Let's talk about Nifty. So Nifty of 2020. From I think in the March, it is not able to surpass that, and has been continuously taking on that. The support point here is 21,950, and from today we have seen some recent 22,100 levels also, and I feel 21,050 will act as a very important in today's session as it is a 50 day. So as long as it is holding that, we are not very cautious. Once it breaks that, then our strategy will be towards the cautious side, and we'll be initiating a few sell calls here.
Okay. Where would you look for, as a hiding place in this market? What is a safe space to be in and constantly build positions despite all this volatility? And where do you see that come what may, after this volatility settles, that will be the first sector, first set of stocks to bounce back in trade? Where would you look for those kind of opportunities?
So I think FMCG, there are certain stocks in the FMCG sector like Kolpal. Kolpal is looking good at current levels. It has been continuously in the sideways trend and consolidating. Plus, it is giving a break, a small breakout, not and it is a safe stock to take a bet on right now. Plus, I have recommended ITC also. It is again in the
Yes.
another stock which we are liking here is Biocon. So Biocon, from pharma space, Biocon is looking good at current levels. It has made a good base formation at around 240, 243 levels, and that's a very important support zone for Biocon. So I think Biocon can also be bought for a target of 270 in the short term. There's a breakout of its 200-day moving average at 256. It is currently trading at around 255. Once it gives a breakout of that, I think 270 is on the cards.
Okay, got that. Let's look at some more stocks. Adani Ports is up in trade despite this weak set of the market, and the company is going to be buying 95% of stake in Odisha's Golapur ports, and that's perhaps the reason why the stock is up and about. Then you also have Sterling and Wilson shares that have hit 5% upper circuit despite this weakening trend in the market. Those are the other stocks that are found that were moving in trade. Would you have your view on Sterling and Wilson at all? Do you track this stock, Ayush?
Sorry, we don't track Sterling Wilson. So I won't be.
Anything else in the renewable energy space that looks attractive to you at this point?
Right now, I don't have any stocks in mind to tell you some energy specific.
Okay, fair enough. Let's again look at some of the big movers in the markets right now. What exactly is moving up? In fact, it's very difficult because the markets are eventually turning negative, with the Nifty metals also once about over a percent higher in trade. Now it's flattened out completely, and the market breadth is also weakening at this point in time. All the sectors of the Nifty now are pulling lower in trade. It's the small caps where the pressure is building up. Some of the stocks from the small cap basket that are deep into the red. IFL Finance 4.5% down. You have CAMS, that's 3% down. Jubilant in Griva, JBM Auto, Cochin Shipyard 2.5% down in trade. IRB Infra is down. First Source Solutions, Cyient, Birla Corp, some of these IT names from the small cap basket that are down. You also have stocks like Raymond, that's down 2% in trade. You have SJVN, that's down 2% again. Some of these stocks, Tata Teleservices, Balaji Mines, these are the kind of stocks that are actually dragging in the small cap space as of now. The realty space is the other one that's facing some kind of profits being taken off the table. So stocks like Brigade, Sobha, Macrotech Developers, Godrej that were moving up are also seeing profits being taken off the table. Let's look at the IT place as well. IT sector is looking at some of the stocks that are dragging. So you have LTI Mindtree, TCS, Wipro, Infosys, Tech Mahindra, slightly lower in trade, not too much though. Let me look at if there are any winners from the IT basket. Persistent Systems, HCL and Emphasis, very far between, and few stocks that are up into the green right now, but largely all the sectors are pulling up. So still volatile trade on the mid cap space. Let's look at some of the winners from the mid cap space to spot any names where you can continue to keep your focus on. So Dr. Lal Pathlabs, Torrent Power, that's the one that's interesting, 3% higher. Rail Vikas Nigam, that's another one that's moving up. You have Prestige Estates, you have PB Fintech, Poonawalla FinCorp is back in action, IRFC is back in action. So some of these railway related stocks are up. Ayush, would you be tracking closely these railway related stocks? RBNL, IRFC, they're back in action after the last few weeks of being underperformers. Is this a point to start building on any positions?
If we talk about IRFC and RBNL, I feel IRFC is looking good at current levels. It has given a good breakout of its downward sloping trend line. It has shown an alert here, and there's a breakout happening in 145. And once it crosses above 145, we are seeing a good rally towards 165 in the short term. Stop loss we have to maintain 138.
Okay. What about Dr. Lal Path Labs? What do you see behind this strong move today of 4.5%? Is this a move that one should be tracking?
Let's talk about Loyalpad Labs. So there's a resistance at 2350, which is approximately 150 points from here, and it has given a good. It has retraced from the higher levels of 2500, and it has taken a support of 1950, and it has given a good breakout. But I feel that by considering the market bet today, we feel there's going to be some profit booking in this counter as well. So it should retrace. It should retrace a little bit from here. At 2100, 2125 is the ideal zone to buy this stock.
Okay, let's again look at some of the other stocks from the Nifty Next 50 list that are up. Avenue Supermarts, 3.8% higher in trade. Remember, last week we had discussed brokerage houses being positive on the stock, and from that time the stock has been on the up move. Ayush, on Avenue Supermarts, what would your next targets be? It's now trading at around 4460 odd levels.
So 4600 is the first target we are seeing. It's a breakout weekly chart. It's a good consolidation breakout and can be bought at the current levels also. And the stop loss should be a little deeper here because the stock has moved up percent here. 4330 will be the stop loss here. 4600.
Okay. Okay. The other pack that's again on the move is the Adani group of stocks. So apart from Adani Enterprises that we discussed and Vineet Bulinchkar was positive on it, you have Adani Green Energy that's 3% higher, Adani Energy Solutions 2.5% up in trade, Adani Total Gas that's up by 1.6% again, Ambuja Cements is up by about 0.3%. The entire basket seems to be on the up move. Do you track this group of stocks? Ayush, technically anything that strikes you?
Yes, we do track the stock, and the stock which I'm liking right now is Adani Ports. So Adani has made a good consolidation breakout of flat pattern on its intraday charts and the daily charts, and I feel Adani Ports can be bought at current levels. The first target we are seeing here is 1350. Stop loss we have to maintain here is 1278.
Okay, so Adani Ports, that's looking positive on the technical charts, while the entire group is on the up move. In case you're looking at technical views, then Adani Ports is something that you can continue to look at. Pidilite, that's another one that I wanted to discuss with you, Ayush. Of course, Pidilite is one share that has been showing some kind of a momentum over the last few days as well. And when we look at the share price performance, over the last 5 days, it's up by 2.5%. Last 1 month, it's moved 10%. Last 6 months, the stock has moved up about 20 odd percent in trade. And in the last 1 year, about 26% of a move has been seen. How would you look at Pidilite?
So Pidilite has given a breakout on all its time frame weekly, monthly, quarterly. That it has given a black pattern, which was at around 29.70, and it is currently there only 29.80 current market price. Pidilite can be bought at current levels. The target we are seeing here is 3050. Stop loss should be today's low, that is 29.65. In fact, it should be 29.50. That would be an ideal stop loss for this.
Okay, got that. Anything else that I may have missed asking you? Any particular stock that you've suddenly caught on your system?
That is Lotus Labs. So I
Lotus
was
Labs.
bullish on the pharma space as well. So Lotus Lab has given a good retracement from the higher levels of 425, and it has gone all the way to 375. Now it has formed a base and it has given a breakout of its three averages, that is 250, 100, which is a very positive sign. It is currently trading around 400 rupees. So I feel 425 is again on the cards, and Labs can be bought for a target of 425. Stop loss should be 390.
Okay, got that. So that's as far as Lotus Labs is concerned. 0.8% of it up move now at the day's high level 400.9. It's currently moving at, and there could be a trade here that you can look at as well. Let's again look at the markets. And now look at now winding up the first trading session, first edition for you for this morning trade. And if you look at, of course, it's a kind of a volatile move that we've spotted in the first half an hour really play out in the markets today, and the markets are now trading even lower. If you look at the Nifty, it's now trading at 22,010. That is at the lowest point of the day. In the first half an hour, we've given up the kind of move early, kind of strength that we had been holding on to. 85 points lower for this one. And now all the sectors of the Nifty have slipped into the red. So it's a broad-based weakness that you can really spot. Of course, there are a whole host of stocks that are still trading positive, and we've discussed constantly. On the F&O space, the stocks that are moving: Indus Towers, Max Financials, Dr. Lal Pathlabs. You also have ICICI Prudential, Jindal Steel and Power, and you also have stocks like HDFC Asset Management Company, Astral, and HDFC Life as moving in the trade positively. Bajaj Finance, another heavyweight stock that's pulling up in the F&O space. What's not doing well? Power Grid is lower in trade, 2.8%. ICICI Lombard has slipped. Trent has slipped in trade. Godrej Consumer Products, HPCL, that's down in trade. Oro Pharma, ABB, JK Cement, that's the space where the weakness is really lying at this point in time. Mid-cap space, very, very flat at this point. Nifty Next 50 just showing slight green ticks, but rest of the sectors have all slipped into the red. What we'll do, viewers, is we'll wind up this very special edition, but do stay tuned, as the upcoming for you will be a whole host of special videos to tell you about specific stock ideas and where should you be keeping your focus. Meanwhile, many thanks, Ayush, for being with us on the show and sharing all those stock ideas and strategies for the markets. Many thanks for being with us.
Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe from multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines, and many other sectors.
इंडिया टुडे ग्रुप द्वारा आयोजित